Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today we are doing a video that has been very hard for me to film. In fact, I've attempted to film this multiple times now, but it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying because I'm doing my beauty inventory. I have made no secret that I have a lot of makeup. I love makeup. I like shopping for makeup. I like wearing makeup. I like making YouTube videos about makeup. I love makeup, but between shopping and subscription services, it's gotten really out of control. So last year, I did attempt to do an inventory and I put up a video about it. I don't trust those numbers because it was literally me just handwriting everything down in a notebook and doing kind of hash tallies for what I had. And I just I don't have faith that it was as accurate as what I've done this year. But even then, I don't know how accurate it is this year because as I've said in the past, my organizational skills when it comes to my makeup collection is not stellar. I just have so much that I ran out of storage and a good way to organize it. And so it's just very, very haphazard. So it would not shock me if in the coming year, as I'm trying to get, my life under control, I find more. So I think this year I have done a much better job of cataloging the makeup that I have versus last year. So I'm not even going to really look at those numbers because I don't know if they'll paint an accurate picture. I hope that makes sense. So what I did was I put everything that I could find onto an Excel spreadsheet. And when I tell you it took me months, guys, it took me months. And that should not be the case. So this spreadsheet started when I decided that I was going to jump into the Pan Those Eyeshadows project last year, and I was putting down all of my discontinued and limited edition eyeshadow palettes and listing out all of the shades. And then the spreadsheet just sort of grew from there. So I'm going to try to just be very methodical about telling you what the numbers are. And then hopefully by the time we get to the end, I can tell you what that means. But I'm trying really hard not to make this an excessively long video. And for that reason, I'm not going to be showing you all of the makeup products in each category because guys, it would just be too much to do. I'm sorry. Maybe next year life will be, I'll be a better person next year, but for this year, we're just going to talk straight up numbers from my spreadsheet. So the way I organized my spreadsheet is that I've got all of my eye products in the beginning because again, it started based on the Pan Those Eyeshadows project. And then from there, we'll get into everything else. I've done it alphabetically because I'm a nerd, rather than order of application. So it might feel a little bit jumbly and that's why, but trying to skip around just seems like things will get missed, I think. So let's go ahead and get started with the eye products. So when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, I put down everything that is in like a palette contained form, and it's mostly 5, 6, 7 and up, but I do have a couple of trios on there, a couple of quads on there. We got them through BoxyCharm, but they're full-size pans, so I still decided to go ahead and include them in this section. So when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, I have a total of 142, and that's a lot. But eyeshadow, I know, listen to me making excuses. Eyeshadow is my favorite thing. I love eyeshadow. I love buying it. I like wearing it. I'm sounding like a broken record, but eyeshadow is by far my favorite makeup product. So we'll pretend like that's a reason to have 142 eyeshadow palettes and still eyeballing more. All right, so the next sort of page on my spreadsheet is for my single eyeshadows. So when I say single here, what I mean are individual pans of eyeshadow that are living in a magnetic palette. And so those types of single eyeshadows, I have 141. Now that's a combination of things. That is including palettes that I've depotted and now live in a magnetic palette, as well as like ColourPop shadows, for example, that I've purchased individually, if that makes sense. So 141. In addition to that, I have a category for individual eyeshadows. So when I say individual eyeshadows, what I mean is something along the lines of like this MAC eyeshadow right here. It's in its own container, but it's just one eyeshadow. So in this category, it's mostly eyeshadows like that one there, but I have a couple that are in their own packaging that are duos and trios, but they're smaller than usual eyeshadow pans. So I included them here. I hope that makes sense. So of this format, I have 152. I also took a look at all of my cream eyeshadows. So when I say cream eyeshadows, I mean like Super Shock shadows, as well as things that are in squeezy tubes and have doe foot applicators. That's what I'm putting in this section. So any sort of cream or liquid eyeshadow. Of those, I have 172. I also cataloged all of my loose eyeshadows. So those are going to be like kind of like pigments, I guess, in some cases. But anything that is a loose eyeshadow. Sorry, redundant. I have only 34 of those. I don't know why I said only. That's still a lot. And if you have ever used loose eyeshadows, you know that they take much longer, it seems like, than regular pressed eyeshadows. So 34 is still a lot. 34 is still a lot. And then finally, I did also have a separate category for my eyeshadow sticks, like eyeshadow crayons, cream eyeshadow crayons. Is that making sense? I only have 10 of those. Yay me. All right, now we're moving on to the rest of the makeup. So when it comes to blush, I have 28. And I think here is a good time to kind of stop for a second, because I have on this spreadsheet everything that falls into each of these categories. And while I have designated on the spreadsheet whether it is a full size or a mini, I'm not breaking those numbers out here just because time. But on the spreadsheet, I've got a column for what it is, what the shade name is, if it's a full size or a mini. If I know when I got it, I'm putting down the month and year that I received it or purchased it or whatever the case may be, as well as what the brand is. So that's how my spreadsheet is laid out. But just know that when I say that I have 28 blushes, not all of them are full size, but that doesn't matter because, again, my blush in the pan, in my year-long pan project last year, was also a mini, and it does not matter for me. So, moving on to bronzers. I only have 11 bronzers, 12 bronzers. I'm okay with that number. I'm okay with that number. So I've got 12 bronzers. Brow products is a bit of a surprise because I don't do my brows and I'm not comfortable doing my brows. So I have to say the vast majority of this category had to have come in a subscription service. Looking at this list, I can only see 2, maybe 3 things that I know that I purchased. So when it comes to brow products, I have a total of 23. Bullet lipsticks is shocking. Shocking. Bullet lipsticks between full sizes and minis, I have 291. No person needs 291 bullet lipsticks. Oh, moving on. Color correctors. I only have 4 of those. That's pretty good. I don't really use color correctors, so I'm glad that that category is not larger. Concealers. Oh, I only have 5 of those. That's exciting. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah, go me. Not too excessive there. That's awesome. All right. Eyeliners is excessive. So when it comes to eyeliners, I have 63. 63. And that is any kind of eyeliner, whether it be a pencil or a pen. I don't think I have any like potted eyeliners anymore. I had at least one that I can think of that came in a BoxyCharm. I'm just not as confident and comfortable with those, so I think I passed those along a while ago. So this is going to be anything that is a pencil or a pen. Face palettes are out of control. I have 37 face palettes. And that can be any variety of face palettes. It could be all highlighter, like the ABH palettes. It could be all blushes. It could be blush, bronzer, highlight, whatever the case may be. If it serves more than one face function, I'm considering it a face palette. So I have 37 of those. Foundation. I have 17. That's too many for one little face. Yep, 17. Too many. Again, those are full sizes and minis, so maybe I can work through some of those. Highlighters. I got 60. I really thought that would be more. Oh gosh, guys. So yeah, I have 60 highlighters. Cream, powder, liquid, whatever the case may be, full size, mini, all of it's right here. Lip balms. I have 43 lip balms. I actually go through lip balm, but 43 is still excessive. Lip gloss, another really heavy category. I have 137 lip glosses. I don't need to buy any more. Well, I don't need to buy any more anything, but I don't need to buy any more lip gloss. Lip liners. Again, most of these had to have come in subscription services because I don't really use lip liners, and yet I still somehow have 30. Liquid lipstick. Yikes. 187. 187 liquid lipsticks. Mascara. This is by far one of my most out of control sections. Again, a lot of this came from subscription services, and this is actually one page that I feel least confident about that I got the numbers right, because I have a bajillion minis because they come in everything. So I have a feeling I didn't actually get all of them, but at the moment it appears that I have 47 mascaras. That's too many. That's too many. Even if yeah, that's too many. So 47. Don't need any more of that. What else we got here? Powders. 28 powders. I believe that, yeah, that's both loose powders and pressed powders. So that's all powders. So 28. Primers. 61. Most of those are minis, but still 61. No, 60. Sorry, I lied. 60. Still definitely too many. Hopefully I'll be able to work through some of those this year. That would be lovely. Setting sprays. We all know that I love makeup sprays, and it shows because I have 32 of them. Do I have 32? No, I think I actually have 33. Yeah, I think I've got 33. I think there was one that didn't make the list. I found it in my bedroom. All right. Wait, is that all the makeup? It is. I started trying to list out like skincare, hair care, body care, and I was just done by that point. I had too much going on. But yeah, so my numbers are definitely much bigger than I want them to be. And it just doesn't make a lot of sense to have that much makeup and yet to still be looking at all of the new releases and thinking about things. Like eyeshadows are absolutely my Achilles heel. I am looking at eyeshadows, yeah, already. I mean, there's a palette that just released that I really want. Thank God it's out of stock. So I'm not really trying to set any goals here because I am still relatively new to project panning. I did my most successful projects last year, and I feel like I did really well with them. I'm really interested to see what this year is going to bring, because I am working on even more projects, and I am restricting myself much more heavily than I have in years past, and I think that I'll actually stick to that restriction this year, aside from the fact that I think a monetary budget works better than an item restriction. And I mean, I'm gonna have to. But then again, I also don't know how much makeup I'm gonna be wearing in 2020, so I'm just really interested to see. And I think that by doing it in this way, where I have clearly and intentionally cataloged not just each product, but really just, you know, what it is, what size it is, when I got it, all that kind of stuff, it'll make it a lot easier for me to keep track of those numbers, so that when I do this video again next year, I feel more comfortable with the comparison between what I had versus what I currently have. So that is that there. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I actually really like watching inventory videos just because I find it very interesting. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's made you feel a little bit better about your makeup collection. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.